Okay, well today is not our planned video. I'm going to try and do a video with little Lara because of all my girls, she's the only one that will sit with me for a while. The others are far too active and Lara's a little bit unsettled because there's a lot of noise outside today, so this may not work. And yeah, it's lots going on, isn't there? So I hope we don't pick up all the noise from the neighbours and the gardens. And you're not going to sit and look at the camera? Oh no, she's round my neck already. Would you like a sweetie? Would you like a Cheerio? Come on, little girl. I may have to put her back. I don't think this is going to work somehow. What about a sweetie? Would a sweetie help? No? Well, anyway, it's not the planned video. I was going to do part 2 of Think Like a Rat, but it's been a bit of a funny week for us on Facebook, and every so often, not too often, it happens more often on the YouTube channels, but you get people who are not very nice, and I suspect most of you have experienced it. But I'm not, you know, when I get people on the YouTube channel that are very offensive towards rats and they start being really horrible, I just immediately block them. I just won't have them because my channel and my Facebook page is family friendly for people of all ages, and the only thing I ask is that you are respectful of everybody. Everyone has their opinion. New people often don't know very much. They come to ask questions, and that people are respectful of everybody. The only thing I ask is that you're all polite, which most of you are. Most of you are absolutely lovely. All my regular people are wonderful. And just, if you hate rats, don't watch my channel. That's all I can say to you. Don't watch my channel, because if you make horrible comments, I will just block you. Now, Facebook seems to be a lot worse because people can comment quite freely and easily on Facebook. And unfortunately, we had a little incident this week with somebody who thought that she knew better than everybody else and was very highly critical of everybody and started to say that I didn't know what I was saying and I should not be rescuing rats, I should not be having rats at all and giving advice. Now, this all came down to the fact that purely I mentioned rat nuggets. Now, for many years we did feed our rats rat nuggets because we live on a small island. We're not on the UK mainland, and to get our stuff sent over by courier was very expensive at the time. Now things are better and we have a better courier service, and we, as many of you will know, we started buying food from rat rations last year to see if it would improve the health of our rats. And that was with the little Lara here and Primrose, and yes, they have been wonderfully healthy little rats, and they're very good weight. They're not overweight, they're active, and they're wonderful. I say Lara is a little bit upset because we've got a noisy neighbour who's not been very cooperative at the moment, so if she starts to get stressed, I'll be popping her back in. But anyway, on Facebook, I did delete some comments because people were being referred away to other pages. Now, that's fine. If that had been as far as it went, I'd have left the comments. Yes, I'm always happy to tell people to get as much information as you can, but the reason I deleted the comments was because of the string of messages that I received, the personal messages. So I did get rid of them, and I blocked the lady. I think she probably blocked me as well. But anyway, you know, that is done. That's it. Now, I'm always open to people giving advice, and if people find out new things or ask questions, I really want people to do that. I've always said to all of you from the beginning, don't just listen to my channel, listen to all channels that you think are good, that are recommended, but be very, very wary of people who claim to be rat experts. I'm not a rat expert, none of us are. I have kept rodents for 50 years because I'm quite old now, as some of you know. I started with mice many years ago, and I've had mice and guinea pigs and rats. For the last 20 years, I've specialised just in keeping rats, and I do lots of scientific research. Although my career was art-based, I have actually studied science at a university as well, because I went on to do a degree course at university. It's like a second education, basically, in my 40s. Now, I think you should see as many people as possible and get lots of advice, but you have to be wary the thing that upsets me is there are some big channels and a lot of smaller channels who claim to know everything, and they have these wonderful ideas that they've invented. Now, a lot of people are doing this just to make themselves popular, to have a popular channel. Now, my channel's not big, as many of you know. It's a fairly small channel. I don't go out of the way there to push my channel. I hope that people who like the channel and the Facebook page will tell other people, because I'm not out there to be a popular channel. I want people to care for their rats, and obviously the more people who do watch the channel, then we spread the news of the way we like to do things. Now, my channel is about, our motto is to keep your rats happy, healthy and safe, and that is all I care about, keeping your rats happy, healthy and safe. And that's because I'm a volunteer for Friends of the Animals. I rehome rats for them and have done that for quite a few years, and we see some terrible cases of abuse and rats that come to us in such a disgusting state, so some of them barely alive. Others, like Barney and Fred, have been very well cared for, but their owner has just not been able to keep them for other reasons. And Barney and Fred's owner admitted he didn't do much research. He didn't realise his dogs were going to be a problem with the rats, and he did the right thing. He hung on to them until we could find a really good home for them, when actually they ended up staying with my son. So, you know, not everybody that I come across is a bad owner, but the majority of the rats that come to us are in a very bad condition. So we started to make our videos, and 5 years ago nearly, just purely because I get very upset when animals of any size are not cared for properly. Now, my channel, the only time I tell you you must do this or you mustn't do that is if I'm giving a list of foods that are dangerous, or if I'm talking about health problems or safety of your rats when they're out of the cage. Generally, when I tell you that we do certain things, I'm advising you. I'm not dictating to you that you must do what I do. I'm advising you of what I do and why I do it, and how I, things that we've done, like behaviour problems. My specialist subject is more, it's not nutrition, it's not health. I obviously know about those things and do lots of research, but I am interested in rat behaviour, rat introductions. I'm interested in the mental health of your rats, keeping your rats happy. The other things will follow. And things like diet, it is important, obviously, but diet is not the only thing that you need to think about when you keep a rat. You need to think about whether your rat is happy. And so, yes, this all came about because I mentioned Burgess Rat Nuggets. Now, there is a problem at the moment if you do feed Burgess Rat Nuggets, that the supply is going to be stopped. It's going to be hard for you to buy the Burgess Rat Royale. And I mentioned this because I do mix some nuggets in with my rat rations still, because the rats like the nuggets and it adds a bit more variety to their diet. So I mentioned on my Facebook page, if you feed the Burgess Rat Royale, you should try and get a bit of supply in, because my local pet shop advised me, I was in getting the water bottle, and they advised me that there's going to be a delay, but because they're just stopping them for some reason. But they phoned up Burgess for me, and they found out that Burgess are going to only be selling the XL rat nuggets. Now, the only difference with that is the XL is chicken based rather than beef based, so we're assuming that there is a cost cutting thing. So anyway, there's going to be a shortage of rat nuggets for a while they sort out the new XL packaging and everything. So I just wanted to let people know, because a lot of people feed rat nuggets because it is all they can get. Not everyone can get other foods. Not everyone wants to make their own mixes. Now, what I always say is, if you're going to do your own mixes, you must take a lot of advice. You must not just think you know what you're doing. And I tell people to be wary of making their own mixes, especially new rat owners, because you have to have the right nutrition. You have to know about nutrition and the science behind the different nutrients, and you need some experience. Now, I do make up a mix, but I have read a lot over the years, and my mix is based on ingredients for rat rations. And if I can pick up my book without startling Lara, there is a wonderful book that is available from Rat Rations. Let's see if we can hold this book up. It's called The Scuttling Gourmet, and by Alison Campbell. Campbell, and this is the 4th edition, which I think is the latest one. Yes, Lara approves, and that will tell you all about nutrition for rats. Now that is a very good book to read. Whoops, we're dropping the book now, aren't we? Let's put the book up there. There's no food in the book. Would you like a little Cheerio? You've been such a good girl. No? I'll leave that there for you. So I would advise, if you're going to do a mix, that you follow a recognised mix, because I see on a lot of YouTube channels people have made up a rat mix and it's full of sugary treats and really not healthy at all. So I actually have said before, sometimes it is better, if you don't know what you're doing, feed the rat nuggets, because they've got the minerals and things, and that it is guaranteed that it is okay for your rats. So, you know, I don't want people to feel bad. And I know a lot of you are in other countries. You cannot get all the different foods. So if you want to do the best for your rats, you buy what you can for your basic meal, whether that is a nugget or whether it's a lab block. I know many of you can only get lab blocks. It is very difficult. Now, I don't believe that anyone should come along and say that their way is the only way, that is the right way to feed your rat or to do anything. It's like parenting. Everyone has to make the choice, the best choice that they can make for themselves and for their rats. Providing you're feeding a good varied diet, whatever you feed. It's like we feed fresh organic fruit and vegetables every day. We have some low sugar, reduced sugar cereal treats for our rats. We don't feed high fatty chocolatey foods. The exceptions being when the rats are very old, and rats love their food, and when they're old and they haven't, you know, got long left to live, or they're very sick, then you give them whatever they will eat, and that is what you do. The same as if you had a sick child. The important thing is to get food into them. So, you know, when your rat is old, you don't have to worry about whether the food is healthy. Just give them what they will eat. Do your best to give them good nutrition, but if they're not eating much, and you have to increase the treats for old rats, because rats love their food, and when they're no longer so active, they need something to look forward to. And what do they look forward to but their food? So I think you have to make judgments, but I just, you know, obviously, yes, the rat rations is brilliant. We've swapped to rat rations, but our rats do have a few nuggets in the mix, and I add my own little treats and things. But I think, you know, no one has a right to make someone feel bad because they cannot obtain the food that the person thinks they should have. So you hear about all these wonderful mixes that people have invented. Some of them are good, some of them are very good, some of them are not so good. So you need to really think carefully, you know, what you're going to do, and not be influenced by people who are just trying to make you do what they do because they think that's the right thing to do. So if you've seen my early videos when we did only feed nuggets, you'll know that I mixed other foods in with the nuggets. Sorry, darling. Neighbour's slamming the door and it's frightened Lara. That's the pain of living in a semi-detached house, isn't it, Lara, darling? You're safe. No one can get you, my baby. No, nobody can get you. But I will put you back in a minute. So I don't want to go on too much, but it is something that really annoys me when people say you're doing it wrong. It's, as I said, it's like parenting a child. There is no one way to do it. There is far more to looking after. She's in my t-shirt now, poor love. There's far more to caring for rats than, you know, and she's left a little wee on me. I think she's scared. I think we're going to have to put her back in her house. I don't want her to get traumatised by the neighbours. Good girl. That's right. They've gone out now. They'll be quiet now. They've gone out. So don't worry about fashionable fads and things that come and go. Do your own research. Go to somewhere good like Rat Rations, who will always advise you on what is best for your rats. Do what you have to do to keep your rats happy and healthy and safe. Don't feed them junk food, obviously. Be sensible. Get a hold of the book, The Scuttling Gourmet. I've been told it's now available on Kindle. So if you have a Kindle, hopefully that's a bit cheaper for you. But it's a wonderful book to have a look at. And, you know, I don't want any of you to feel that I am telling you you must do things. The only time I will say that is when I'm giving health advice or advice on dangerous foods, or trying to help you keep your rats safe when they're out at playtime. So that's probably the only time I'll say do this or don't do this. Most of the time I'm trying just to tell you what I would do, what I would suggest, what I've found through my 20 years of rat rescue. And yes, I've gone on a little bit today, but thank you to everyone who sent me messages supporting the channel and the Facebook page. And I hope you're, you know, all happy and healthy and safe with your rats, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I think we will try and get on with our other videos now, because I'm sure everyone's had enough. I know Laura's, keep calling her Laura today. Lara has had enough, haven't you, Lara? I've been talking to a lady called Laura, so we're getting all confused. Yes, but my lovely little girl Lara, she's the only one of my girls that will sit patiently on my knee for quite a long time. She is a year now. And look at her, she's absolutely beautiful. So the most important thing to me is that you do the best you very can for your rats. You get lots of advice. You don't, you know, ignore any advice that you feel is bad. Don't worry about people who just come in and start criticising you and telling you, you mustn't do that, this is wrong, this is wrong. You have to do it my way because that's the only way, because 9 times out of 10 what they're telling you is probably bad advice as well. So I think just love your rats, keep them happy and healthy and safe, do the very best you can. Don't feel bad if you live in a country where you can't get all the things that I mentioned. You just do the best you can for your rats, and they will. The most important thing is loving them and being with them and doing the very best for them, and you know, providing that they are loved and secure and they have a healthy diet, even if it's not the fashionable diet, as long as it is healthy. We all know that there are improvements on rat nuggets, but if that is all you have where you live and rat blocks is all you have, don't worry, just, you know, supplement with fresh fruit and vegetables, and any of the things that I've said that we use are safe. And love your little ratties, keep them safe, and they're just adorable. So thank you everybody for, you know, your lovely messages and listening to me rambling on, and I just feel it has to be said. I've said it before and I'll probably say it again, but in your heart you will know what is right for you and your rat, and providing your rat is happy, healthy and safe, you can't do much more than that.